Hey,
Hey, peace of Black Power, everybody. Want to welcome you to another NCRBGZ Productions. With that being said, I want to thank y'all. We got a late start tonight, but nonetheless, we still here. This is the show where we usually talk about current events. So we got a nice show set up for the family. Like always, I want to, tell you to give us a thumb up, like the video, leave a comment, let your friends know that we live on NCRBGZ. Share the video, let people know about it. Because we about to get it in, family. We about to jump into some tough topics, some good conversation. And like always, I want to give my panel members opportunity to introduce themselves to the family so we can get it in.
All right. It's your brother in the back, Cafe Amunreye. Just to say, being student teacher, and just glad to be a part of the discussion tonight.
Peace, everyone. It's Master You. This is my brother in the bot said, just here for a great discussion. And
I'm here to chop up this game. What's going on?
Yeah. And that's it. That's all. Go ahead, Neil.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, this is Master You, man. Everything good, man. Just here for a great conversation. That's all.
Yeah, same thing. Peace, family.
All right, peace. My name is Chavis Hayes. I'm here for a good conversation. See what people got to talk about.
And I thank y'all, brothers, also for taking the time out y'all self to be here tonight. You get what I'm saying? Because y'all can be doing anything else. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into some conversation. This is our current event show. It's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the news. A lot of things that we're gonna talk about. So, with me, I like to start off with some good news. You get what I'm saying? So I read an article today that something happened in Asheville, North Carolina. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm not gonna play no video or nothing, but I'm gonna share my screen because they actually, Asheville actually in a historic move, they Asheville approved reparations for Black residents.
Yeah, I've seen that.
This was published on July the 14th. Apparently, we're players. Here we go.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I ain't reading to it though.
Let me see. Let me get this.
This should have taken place long.
All right, here we go.
Well, I think it's a good thing to be happening at this time. This should have taken place long ago, and in all reality, it never should have been placed there for the purpose it was placed there. But I think young people should be the one who should make the decision on what happens to this monument. I am almost 73 years old, not a senior citizen like me. So I hope the people that go on this committee will be young people who will have to live with the results. Their children will have to live with the results. Not a bunch of senior citizens up there making the decision, because senior citizens were the ones, and their parents were the ones that were responsible for this monument being here in the first place. That would be my view. And as we all know, the monument was placed there for dominance and shows of pure.
I ain't okay. But here it say in the extraordinary move, the city council has apologized for the city's historic role in slavery, discrimination, and denial of basic liberties to Black residents, and voted to provide reparations to them and their descendants. The 7-0 vote came the night of July the 14th. So 100 years of Black blood spilled that basically fills the cup we drink from today, says Councilman Keith Young, one of two African-American members of the body and the measurer's chief proponent. It is simply not enough to remove statues. Black people in this country are dealing with issues that are systematic in nature, Young said. The unanimous passed resolution does not mandate direct payments. Instead, it will make investments in areas where Black residents face disparities. Y'all can Google this, read the article yourself, but it's more or less they're talking about redirecting the funds to Black neighborhoods. And the good thing is specifying Black. It's not saying minority. It's not saying, you know, coalition, or it's specifically talking about Black residents, right? So let me stop sharing my screen. So y'all can weigh in on this. I think that it's a good move. It may not be the best move. You know, we can always want more, but I really believe it's a step in the right direction. And what this really shows, though, that if we get the correct elected officials in office in these rural and small areas, that we can get stuff done. And it may not be on a federal level, it can be on a local level. And I think then eventually it could be adopted federally. Y'all want to jump in, you know, say y'all piece on that?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, man. So you were saying that the reparation is going to be more like investments into the community?
Yeah, they're gonna invest into you know, building on low income houses. They trying to find ways to get rid of this wealth gap between Black and white. They specifically talk about that actually. You know, let me share my screen again, because they specifically talk about that, the difference in the wealth gap in this article. So but they not talking about giving individual checks, right? So let me blow this up a little bit. All right, so that's better. It says, what I do? What I just did, it's something. All right, here we go. It says the resulting budgetary and programmatic priorities may include, but not be limited to, increasing minority home ownership and access to other affordable housing, increasing minority business ownership and career opportunities, strategies to grow equity and general wealth, closing the gaps in healthcare, education, employment, and pay, neighborhood safety and fairness with criminal justice. Resolution reads. So now this is the problem though. When they're originally they talk about Black residents, but when they get into the wording of the resolution, the word minority come in there, and we know what minority means. So the resolution calls on the city to create the Community Reparations Commission, inviting communities and other local governments to join. It will be the commission's, it should be commissioner's job to make concrete recommendations for programs and resources to be used. Councilwoman Shanika Smith, who is Black, said the council had got emails from those asking, why should we pay for what happened during slavery? So she talked about how slavery, I read it, slavery is this institution that serves as the starting point for the building of the strong economic force for white America, while attempting to keep Black subordinate forever to its progress, says Smith. Right. So I don't want to read all of it, but basically we get the legit. But in the wording, they do got that minority. So I didn't, and that kind of like takes a lot of it away from me once I see that they actually worded it minority instead of
Yeah.
black.
Yeah, when I see the word minority, man, it kind of like so people will say, this, like people say color is any color, you know what I'm saying, outside of white, you know what I'm saying, that's in it, that's any color, man. So I'm not too sure how I you know what I'm saying, it's like anything that anytime somebody want to do something for black people, it has to be up under the umbrella of something else. I mean, I get it and I understand, but it's like there's an issue when it comes to just giving black people their due diligence with whatever it is. You know what I mean? Why they can't just say this for black people? So you saying all this stuff, well, we're gonna give you reparations because of X, Y, and Z. Why does everything else have to be included? Everybody is already included in everything, but there's never nothing specifically for us, which is why I will always say we will never ever find our freedom or any type of justification from anyone else. It has to be something that we do it has to be something that we do, you know what I mean, for ourselves. And we talk about wealth building, they want to invest into the community. These are things that we should be doing on our own, man. You get what I'm saying? And so some people like, no, we can't do this, we can't do that. Somebody in that family has to take the bullet and say, look, I'm willing to sacrifice myself in order to put my family ahead. Well, you know what I mean? Because if you go to any ghetto, man, most of them houses are not owned by us. Them houses are owned by people that don't look like us. Them stores are owned by people who don't look like us. And I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking them at all. I'm not knocking them for that. I'm not knocking the Arab for owning stuff in the black community. I don't knock them at all. They doing what they do. It's just that we not doing what we doing, man. And so I'm in my mentality, man, I'm over expecting anybody else to do something for black people. I'm over it. I don't care what they do, what they don't do. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't complaining about no Oscar so white. That's just me. And some people may say, Master, you wrong. That's just me. You know what I mean? I ain't waiting. Nope. I go get it myself. What Thanos say in the movie? He said, fine, I'll go do it myself. I'll go do it my doggone self. You can't trust nobody to do nothing for you. We already trusted them, man. We went to war. We trusted them. When we got home, we were gonna have something. We thought that was gonna change. What they get? Black people got off that doggone boat. They got snatched up. You know what I'm saying? All them people who killed. And I'm sorry if I'm going to rant. All them people got killed. Breonna Taylor, all this stuff. Nothing happened. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I still say what I'm saying. That whole thing in North Carolina, it really ain't gonna be for black people. One or two black people may get it, but that's it. There's a lot of other minorities in North Carolina, and that's no disrespect to any other minority, but I'm just specifically talking about black people. You know what I'm saying? Anytime Black Lives Matter, is that really for black lives? I think not. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? Am I making sense, or I'm not? I'm just going off on this crazy tangent, and it just don't make sense. Somebody holler at me now.
You're making a lot of sense, brother, because slavery wasn't for minorities. Minorities wasn't enslaved. It was African Americans and black people that was enslaved.
Black people were enslaved.
So if you talking about giving us reparations, why you're talking about minorities when they weren't enslaved?
Yeah, well,
it don't make sense. Brother Chavis, you want to jump in? I see you got your hand waved. Go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna say one more thing. We were the ones that were enslaved. You know what I'm saying? You can find pictures of what happened to black people during slavery. However, I will say this: there are other minorities in America, and this ain't no disrespect to nobody at all. This ain't no disrespect. But anytime black people go through stuff, black people go through it alone. But a lot of people benefit off of the plight of black people. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody does, but nobody's willing to go through the suffering with you. And I know people say, well, people out here protesting with y'all. Protesting with me is one thing. That's one thing. A lot of these protests is peaceful. A lot of them is peaceful. I'm talking about somebody willing to go and fight limb to limb, arm to arm with you. That's not happening, man. It is not happening at all. And you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if North Carolina do get us something to the, to black people, then that's what's up. But I feel like put our own money together. And when they giving money to these businesses, who gonna own these businesses? Are we gonna own them? And they just provide an opportunity towards us. Makes sense what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I'm gonna shut up, man. Brother Chavis, you go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I won't raise my hand. I was clapping, but yeah, I'm on the same tip. I don't really pay too much attention to the whole reparation thing because I'm under the notion that I don't care how much money you give certain people, if they don't know how to use that money to better themselves, they're gonna blow that within a year, 2 years. I've seen it happen. I've seen people get $200,000 in life insurance policy. Next year, all of it gone. So it's like if the goal Black people need to focus on is building themselves up. Basically, we need to work. Basically, find entrepreneurs that's Black, support the Black businesses. Make sure your kids is going to school. Make sure your kids is learning. Make sure we gotta try to push more for two-parent household, male, female, because now they pushing for the whole transgender stuff. But we need to make sure we keep our households male and females, and things of that nature, man. Like reparation thing is like a luxury when you look at it. It's just a luxury. If we get it. But I don't think we should be dependent on it. Like, you know, sitting on our hands waiting for it to come. It's like, no, man, you gotta get up. You gotta fix your own situation. That's all I got to say about it.
It's facts, and then I'm gonna add on something else too, man. And I know Brother Ned probably gonna chime in on that. But I do want to say this. We talking about North Carolina pride and reparations, and and the tip that me and Brother Chaver just talked about. So I'm gonna mention Nick Cannon real quick. I know we're gonna talk about him a little bit later. You understand what I'm saying? Tell me what Nick Cannon did wrong. Not a doggone thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nick Cannon has been good to a lot of people for a lot of times. He's been good to Nickelodeon, he put money in all their pocket. He said one thing to let him go. But this dude from the Philadelphia Eagles called Black people niggas, what happened to him? The people who killed Breonna Taylor, who was obviously in the wrong, what happened to them? Nothing, bro. So again, your savior ain't coming from, that's no disrespect. Your savior, you think they give you reparations. You thought the people going to jail. That's what you thought. That's what you thought. Not gonna happen. Not in this lifetime, unless, and I'm not trying to be funny, man. Anything you want in life, no disrespect, you're gonna have to take it 99% of the time. I didn't say go to war, I ain't say fight and kill. That's not what I said. So anybody listening said, don't mix up my words. You're gonna have to go take it. You see a woman if you see a woman that you like, they are taught what old school is, the man chases the woman. I didn't say go rape her and knock her upside her head, but you pursue her. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to get smarter, it ain't just gonna fall in your lap. You pursue that. You get what I'm saying? So if we want any type of freedom, reparation, or justice, we have to actively pursue it. And marching and somebody else giving it to us is not gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? The moment you step out of line with them folks, what's gonna happen to you? Bad-eye nigga. That's what's gonna happen. No disrespect. Yeah. That's what, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna hush, man. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm losing my mind. Let me be quiet.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with my brother Master. You said, we got to be very. First of all, we got to be very wary of, this whole reparations thing, and I don't want to be too negative about it. I know that the councilmen, and the councilwomen are both African Americans. So I think it's a very positive thing that they're fighting for this. It's just that when they start talking about these things, they make before election time, and whenever they feel as though they need black support, they come out with these different things. And so we know that this George Floyd thing, has caused a lot of chaos all over. You know what I mean? So everybody's feeling there's a lot of different states in the United States that are pretty much trying to how do I say it? What's the word to use? Pacify us in this time, because the energy that we and the effect that we are having as a result of everything that has happened to us. It's having such a drastic effect on this country and the world at large. And we have to be very careful about these little things. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I haven't analyzed this particular thing. I'm not sure if it's an actual commitment. I know that they said that they're going to delegate funds to the Black community, but like my brother Master, you said, we shouldn't wait around and expect that. We don't know in what form it's going to come, like the brother Chavez said. I believe he just mentioned that. We don't know, to what extent it's going to, actually bring equality in this country to our people. So I just think that we need to be very wary about trusting what they give to us. First of all, what we need to do is we need to make demands. If it's going to be for any reparations, if we're going to pursue that at all, then we need to make the demands. I don't think that we should wait around for them to say, okay, well, we're going to give you this for reparations, and that's our part. Right. And then for us to just accept that and clap our hands as if North Carolina specifically has not only enslaved African Americans, castrated and all type of other evils, but also those indigenous Americans or Native Indians or Native tribes down there in the South, which come from North Carolina, which I haven't heard anything about. So this terminology of minority, like the brother was saying, we have to be very careful of it because if I'm not mistaken, LGBTQ is considered to be a minority group. Even though they're very powerful and influential. So I'm just saying we got to be very careful about what we accept, and we need to do for and we need to live for and by each other, and do for self. So and not depend on or expect anything from anyone else. And that's pretty much what I had to say on that.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with y'all, brother. Especially when I saw that word minority, that was all it took for me. That changes everything. Brother, Nail gone, maybe he'll come back. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Since Master, you kind of alluded to it, I'm gonna share my screen. I guess we can go ahead and talk about what's going on with Breonna Taylor. There's a post right here saying that no arrests or charges so far in Breonna Taylor's shooting death. So let me see if we can listen to this, y'all.
4 months ago, a young Black woman named Breonna Taylor was killed by Louisville police in her apartment. Since then, protesters across the country have demanded accountability, but no one has yet been arrested or charged. Amina Elahi of member station WFPL in Louisville is with me now. Good morning, Amina.
Good morning.
So there is an investigation into Breonna Taylor's killing. Where does it stand?
Well, the investigation is ongoing, and we really don't know when it's going to be wrapped.
Hey, Seth, Haru, you hear me?
I think you might have dropped off.
Yeah, he must have. He said he's still up here though. Okay. Well, nevertheless, man, until the back in, you know, we'll keep it moving. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this whole Breonna Taylor thing. This just it just goes to the point that I was making, that we can't expect anything in this country, whether it's the government, whether it's reparations, whether it's the justice system, whatever it is, man. We're sitting around waiting. What is going on in that? Somebody want to say something? Okay. Yes, they're sitting around waiting. We, right, are sitting around waiting and expecting the same devils, right? And again, just like the same way that we say that there are no good cops, because if you were a good cop, then you would, you know what I mean? We can say the same thing about these politicians. We can say the same thing about these prosecutors. We can say the same thing about these judges, right? About all of these figures in the justice system, in the FBI that does these investigations, in the CIA. We can say the same thing about all of them, that they have corrupt elements within each one of these departments, to the extent where we can't expect them to make an arrest on these type of evils, just like we can't expect reparations. So the question is, we have witnessed a history of this happening over and over and over again to our people, whether it's Breonna Taylor, right? George Floyd, right? I don't even want to name the list, but the question and the point is, how much longer are we going to continue to wait and expect them to give us justice, right, before we stand up and take it, right? And you could interpret that how you will, but that's pretty much what I want to know is how much that's my question on this whole topic.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Breonna, the thing, whole thing with Breonna Taylor, man, is like, these people know they were wrong. You know what I'm saying? These people know, they know they were wrong, and nobody necessarily willing to admit they were wrong. You understand what I'm saying? But whenever we are black people as wrong, or whenever we are accused of being wrong, we're quick to be demonized or vilified. You know what I mean? When a black person gets shot by cops, the videos they show of us is, us being negative, we look negative. They try to make us look like look at his hair, look at the outfit. He did this in high school. This person can be 50 years old. He did this in high school. Okay, that's like 30 some odd years ago. They vilify us, man. And with Breonna Taylor, I think they arrested 80 some people on felony charges because they actually went to the DA's house and were protesting outside of the DA's house, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, man, if you're not familiar with the story, pretty much this, Breonna Taylor was home with her boyfriend, I'm not mistaken. Somebody enters her house without saying anything at all. There was no knock, there was nothing. And so the husband or boyfriend shot. And then the police officers just started shooting in a raid of bullets. There was no particular reason for them to be at Breonna Taylor's house to do anything at all. First of all, with that, you're wrong. You understand what I'm saying? If you go to anybody's house, go to a cop's house unannounced. Go to a cop who's off duty. Go to their house unannounced. And if they shoot at you and you shoot all them bullets back, see what happens to you. I guarantee you will not be the same fate. I guarantee you that you will be jail locked up for millions upon millions upon millions of years. You get what I'm saying? You will die in that prison. You will die in that prison. And so the issue, again, it goes back to this. The issue is this. Again, we keep expecting something. It's a definition of insanity. We keep doing the same thing and we expect different results. The results, it is time proven through history. It's nothing gonna change, bro. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. Every day, black people getting hung, shot, something. Every single day. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just in these major cities. It's in the small county towns too. It's every day. And so, I will forever say this: the only way that something's going to change for us, again, we have to check. We have to go take it. And again, I'm not saying take it by a violent means, not what I'm saying, but you have to take it. Malcolm X said by any means necessary. Now you include or you define the means in which you get it. We have to educate ourselves more we have to educate not just ourselves, but our kids. Educate them more. So then to put ourselves in position of power. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, big on when people talking about go vote and do X, Y, and Z. But I know, Brother Seth Haru knows, a lot of things about politics and taking things over on the local level, getting local things established and done. We have to start owning businesses. We have to start owning movie studios, radio stations. Put out, what I'm saying? If you and your homeboys can go and say, man, I just made 10 grand off the block. Take that 10 grand and go buy some houses. Make sure that your mama and your sister okay. Make sure that your neighborhood okay. You get what I'm saying? You talking about we gang banging and we whatever Saturday is. Well, my neighbor, this whole neighborhood is under our protection. So there ain't gonna be no raping, ain't gonna be no maiming, ain't gonna be no shootouts. If these little kids can be to walk down the street, they can be okay. Ain't nobody coming here with no riffraff. If they do, that's we gonna really start gang banging. I'm not gang banging on my own people. I make sure the people in my neighborhood are educated. I make sure these kids when they get off the bus, they can get home safely. I'm making sure that this single mom, you know what I'm saying, that I'm making sure that that she feels safe when her kids are outside. You understand what I'm saying? That's the true essence of how we really should be. I should never look at another black man or black woman as competition. And if you get what I'm saying, if you my homeboy and I got $1 million, I'm breaking you off with something because you my homeboy. I ain't say my associate, I mean my homeboy. If I got a business and I want to do something, put my homeboy in a position. What LeBron James do? He hired his homeboys and made all of them rich. But most of the time, we look at black people as another means of competition. And then something else. All these people in all the music industry, all these celebrities, most of them have not came out on the stance of helping black people. They have not. They have not done that. They have not. So all these people's favorite rappers ain't said nothing. They ain't did nothing. All they want to do is shoot them up, bang, bang, kill black people. You understand what that's all they want to do. That's it. That's all it is. So all these people talking about they claiming they're hard, they claiming that ain't hard to me. Just because you got a gun don't make you hard. Take care of your kids. Make sure your mama grass cut. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure your auntie, make sure your auntie okay. Your little niece and your nephew who are out in the streets, go, I know you can't make nobody do nothing, but be a mentor to them. To me, that's the true definition of gangster. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to act out of maturity and kill somebody for no particular reason, all because you stepped on my shoe. And I'm talking to black, I'm talking to nobody else. We so much better than that. We always talk about we come from kings and queens, but when push comes to shove, we don't act that way. We want to act as if we're savages. Now, I'm not saying every black person. That's not what I'm saying. But for those of us who have that mentality, that is worse than the devil, man. That is the mentality that created the devil. That. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, man, I'm off my soapbox, bro. I'm gonna be quiet.
Well, I just want to add on when you talking about Breonna Taylor, and what I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna I don't even think I got nothing open up, and I'm gonna refer y'all to a lecture by a brother named Asar Imhotep, right? And what he did was he made a lecture, and everybody know about Sparta, the Spartans, and the 300. You know how they always talk about the 300s, right? The Spartans, they was so much good warriors, and
Hey, Chevy, you got some feedback coming from your microphone.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Well, about they talk about Spartans, and in the movies they make them seem like they are, what I'm saying, tough, and when in real life they were a warrior class, but it ain't like the movies make it seem, right? So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm not gonna play the video. I'm just gonna share my screen and let y'all see the title of this video, so y'all can research, look at it when you get the chance, and so you can get an understanding of what's going on with us in America and what went on in Greece with the now I don't want to play it, so let me make sure I don't play it. All right. But the name of this is Ancient Sparta and Modern Police Brutality. What's the connection? The brother name is Asari himself. He done a video, and what he did, he ain't got that many views. You see, only 27 views. People don't know what they're missing by not looking at it. Because he breaks down very important about Greece and the Spartans, right? Well, the Spartans was the warrior class, but they were the warrior class, but they had a group of people called the Zealots. So in this comparison, he compared the white people of America to the Spartans, and the Zealots would be the African Americans. Well, because the Spartans was outnumbered, because it wasn't as many of them as it was the Zealots, it got to a point where the Spartans really didn't want to leave home to go to war, to battle, because they would have uprisings while they was at war by the Zealots. So, but long story short, he talked about the tactics that the Spartans used to do to keep the Zealots under control, because the Zealots actually outnumbered the Spartans, but they instilled fear in the Zealots so that they would never rebel against them. So some of the tactics that they would do was they had like a special force wherein they would send one person out on a mission, like what you would call a CIA operative. And this person's mission would be during the nighttime while people were asleep, they would go out and just kill zealots, powerful zealots, kill the animals, kill them, to instill fear in these people. And some of the tactics that they use, that the Spartans did with the zealots, America is using it with black people today. And he broke that down, and he done a comparative analysis with the Spartans and with the Zealots and how it applies to us, and especially the police force, because we outnumber the police force, but somehow the police force are able to keep us in control. So if y'all ever get some time and you got nothing to do, go check out that video, man. And he breaks that stuff down, and it goes to this Breona Taylor. They always had to keep their foot on the Zealots' neck. They were never able to give them room to breathe. And this was going on with us in America. They always got to keep their foot on our neck. They can never allow us to breathe. Anytime we take a step forward, they got to make sure we take 3 back. Because they can't allow us to get the idea or to breathe freely, to understand that we actually outpower them and are stronger than them. People don't know that the Spartans were homosexuals. People don't know that. The way they showed them in the movie is they warrior, right? Yeah, they were warriors, but you couldn't get a wife until you got a certain age. But guess what they did with young men before they got married? Man, this stuff is serious, bro. But
right, tell them. That's right.
I'm just telling you that they had young boy maids.
Yeah.
And before the boy maids had to be what, like, a man would take them and raise them, like break them in, buck break them. He would be their lover before they can get to the point where they would get married. And the only reason the women was to reproduce. And see, they had it so that the women had to be warriors too. So like, and that's why only certain ones could be Spartans. That's why they were so limited, because of the bloodline. And you had, like, your mother had to be a warrior too. But the only purpose of the woman was to build the army. That's the only purpose they had. Their lovers was boys. But you
Right,
know
and
when
that
it's
and that's where they get the word sport.
mm-hmm. And a lot of people see the movie 300 and be like, yo, cause the way they show them on the movie, yo, they gangster. Like, yo, you start reading about them in real life, you be like, yeah, they were gangster. Right?
They got, but look on that Breonna Taylor case though. So yeah, I don't disagree with what happened because the thing is about I think you had mentioned Master U that they just busted her house, but they had a warrant to do that type of bust. So you have a warrant where you have to knock on the door and you have to let them know that you're coming in, and then you have a warrant called a no knock warrant. And when you get a no knock warrant, you don't have to let them know that you're coming in their house. And it's harder to get a no knock warrant also. Now, if the judge that approved the warrant, if he had the right to prove, or if it was reasonable for him to prove it, that's another discussion. You'll have to look more into the details to see what was they asking for the no knock warrant for. And but in that situation that she was in, they had a warrant for her, and they had a warrant for the guy that already was arrested. Both of them was on the no knock warrant. And so they was coming basically to get her. And they said they had evidence that these people was receiving packages of drugs and stuff like that going in and out the house. And the no knock warrant basically served the purpose of a surprise attack, where if we knock on the door and let them know we coming, they'll have enough time to either equip themselves with guns and fire back, or they'll have enough time to flush drugs and get rid of evidence. So that's one of the reasons why. That's like the main reason why people ask for no knock warrants. So like them coming in and then she getting caught in the crossfire, that's not far as law, it's not against them. Like they wouldn't be fault for that. The guy, her boyfriend, he won't be fault. Like they tried to charge him with aggravated assault and attempted murder on the police. They dropped the charges because being that they did a no knock warrant, one police officer said they did announce themselves. Now, in that case, if they did announce themselves, even with the no knock warrant, and the guy that was shooting her boyfriend, and he knew that was the police, then them charges could stick. But being that the neighbors are saying, "Oh no, we didn't hear the police announce themselves," and not Breonna Taylor, but Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is saying that he didn't know it was the police. It put them in a situation where now they can't claim that he knew it was a police officer coming inside the house. So his charges got dropped. So he won't get charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault against the police because he had every right to shoot when somebody's trying to bust in his house at, I think it was like 12 o'clock at night, I think. So he had every right to shoot at them. But at the same time, the police had every right to shoot back when they're being fired on because they were operating under a no-knock warrant. Now, if they was operating under a regular warrant, like a regular search and seizure warrant, and they didn't announce themselves, then yeah, them police would be held. I ain't gonna say they would be, but they should be held accountable. But then that'd be all depending on the jurors that get elected and the prosecutors and all of that. But then they should be held accountable. But as far as the way the law is written, they have the right to, and with a no-knock warrant, they have the right to kick your door in without telling you. And then upon that, if somebody in there was to start firing, not knowing it's the police officers still have their right to fire back. And if anybody get caught in that crossfire, it would be nobody's fault. But if Breonna Taylor's boyfriend knew that was the police, they would end up charging him with her death, and they'll still charge him with aggravated assault and attempted murder on the police officer.
So Chambers, did you hear what you just now? Did you?
I didn't know they had a warrant. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Chambers, you heard what you said, right? I just want to make sure you heard and understand everything that you said, right?
Yeah.
And that makes sense to you.
Yeah. What part?
So hold on. Slow down.
Run it back.
So a no-knock warrant, makes sense to you. And if somebody return fire, not knowing that it's a police officer that's coming in, the police officers still have the right to return fire. And if
Yes.
somebody get killed in the midst of this gunfight, it's not the police fault. This is what you
No.
said.
Yeah, they won't. See, we got look
Okay,
at
so
like,
I'm asking you, does that make sense to you?
yes. I would look at it like this. Let's say if Pablo Escobar had a building and he was moving cocaine and stuff, all that through this building. On them cases, you always see them operate on a no-knock warrant because when they looking at the situation, if we allow them to be like, hey, look, we're coming to do a warrant on y'all house on this building.
Travis, I get the no-knock warrant. I'm not talking. I'm beyond the no-knock warrant.
I'm going through it. I'm just going through it. So then they will execute the no-knock warrant. Now, when they come in this building to try to confiscate whatever is in this building that they believe is in this building, if somebody shoots at them, they have the right to protect themselves. They still law enforcement. It's just like if
I get
come
that,
to your
but
house,
when somebody dies, that's what I'm talking
now,
about.
look, I'm gonna tell you this. They will.
it.
Yeah, the police officers, they would not get charged with murder, but that police department will still be required to pay that family out. Like, watch when this whole thing fall out, Breonna Taylor her family still is going to get paid.
That's cool, but that ain't justice. That's not.
Yeah,
what we talking about here is this: if two people shooting at each other in the street and somebody got killed in the crossfire, besides those two people that are shooting at each other, somebody is liable. Somebody is liable.
In that situation, yes.
Even if we look at the police, if they got caught in a crossfire, somebody gets killed in a crossfire with the police outside of a warrant, just in the street. A shooting happens, the police officer, someone else, innocent person, innocent bystander ends up getting shot.
Yeah.
And this is a question in my case because I don't know the law. Outside of a warrant, is the police officer liable in that situation?
That's what I said earlier. They would be liable far as they would have to pay out, but far as charges being brought against them for murder, no.
Wow.
Because the reason why is because it's called qualified immunity, where I'm a police officer and my job is to protect the community. So in the pursuit of me doing my job, if somebody fire upon me and I fire back at that person, and let's say if my bullet go through that person and hit somebody else, I wouldn't be held accountable for murder of that other person that hit, or even if my bullet ricocheted off of something to hit somebody else, I won't be held accountable for that because I'm a police officer with the authority to operate to basically serve and protect the community. So in them grounds, if somebody is shooting at me, when I start shooting back, you can't say, it wouldn't be logical to say, oh, you got to charge this police officer with murder. But what will happen is they will sue them and eventually they will get paid.
Hold on, Chavis. Let's take the law enforcement away from this. Let's say two regular civilians and somebody, let's say me and you shooting at each other, right? Yep. You shoot me, the bullet go through me or ricochet and kill somebody else that you shot. Are you gonna get charged with murder?
Yep.
Okay, so you understand that you will get charged with murder. So you have brought the idea, or you have came into the, I guess you okay with the fact that the police officer shouldn't get charged. You're okay with this because they are quote unquote protecting. That's what you quote unquote they're protecting. So by they protecting us, they should be under a different set of rules than us. So you are okay with this. So like you have like this is you okay? Are you a military? Are you from the military?
No.
Okay.
No, but this is the reason why. You gotta look at it like this. A regular citizen is not doing the same thing a cop is doing. A cop is actually going out and enforcing law. And in the midst of in the midst of enforcing law, we know he can be faced with some levels of adversity that will yield for him, where it might cause him to pull his weapon and shoot his weapon.
in the sense of trying to protect and serve the community. So if I'm in a mall, right, and I'm a police officer, and somebody is shooting at me in the mall, you trying to say I don't have the right to shoot against them? I don't think you would say that.
No,
So,
what I'm saying is, if you kill somebody,
listen, I'm going through it. So look, so if now I know you won't disagree that I don't have the right to shoot back at him. We can agree on that. So now when I'm shooting back at this guy, I am doing this in a public service manner. Like, I'm here to protect the people and I'm just trying to eradicate this threat. So if my bullet end up bouncing off of something and I hit somebody else, no, I shouldn't be held accountable for that, because I am here to protect and serve the people, and that's only a mishap. I was not intentionally trying to kill this kid or this person over here. And in them situations, the person that calls the police to fire the firearm, they would be the ones held accountable for that other person's death, because if they would if they would have never shot off at the police would never have to discharge his weapon, and that person would never die. So they would charge that person with that murder, not the police officer. And I feel that is a right that should be extended to people that's in public service of that manner. Because it's like, if I can't, like, what's going to happen if, like, for instance, like when we go into somebody's house and we do a warrant or a no-knock warrant and they start shooting at me, if you're trying to say I can't be protected by that law, then I shouldn't shoot at all, because I don't know who's in the house and I don't know where they at. So now I just have to stand there and get shot at. But if you put that law in place, now I can shoot and try to protect myself and try to serve the community.
Are you familiar with why they came up with no knock on warrants? Are you familiar with the legislation and the passing of the no knock warrants? Are you familiar with it?
No.
You might need to do some research, bro.
Yeah,
because
I'm reading through it. That's
because you thinking that they just done this to sneak up on cocaine dealers or whatever. This shit came after the Patriot Act. The no knock warrants came after the Patriot Act. And what the Patriot Act did was it extended the police force and it militarized the police force. But the one thing that the Patriot Act didn't give the police force that the military have is rules of engagement. In the military, you have rules of engagement. And in your rules of engagement, certain things that you have to do when it comes to rules of engagement, you are still liable for what you do. So I don't matter if I'm in war and under rules of engagement, because you brought up somebody shooting at a cop. 9 out of the 10 times, the cops escalate it to shooting, because whatever force you put toward them, they can go inch high. So like, if you got a stick at a police, they can grab their gun. So you telling me if I got a stick at a police officer and they pull their gun out and they shoot and it ricochets and kills somebody, I'm at fault because I had a stick and they feared for their lives to pull the gun out and shoot. And logically speaking,
I don't agree with that one.
I'm just saying, but that's what you. That
wasn't what he's saying. But
what he said, he said if somebody's shooting at a police officer. Yeah, but what I'm telling you is police officers can, according to the amount of force that you're putting towards police officers, they can escalate it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I got a stun gun,
one thing to say.
If I got a stun gun and I'm trying to shoot a police officer with a stun gun, they can actually pull their gun out and shoot me.
Yep.
But if a police officer shoots me with a stun gun, I can't pull out my gun and shoot them.
No, even if a police officer shoots you with a gun, you can't shoot him, especially if he operating in the realms of the law. That's what you gotta say. The law put it in place so when police officers do the no-knock warrant, they don't have to announce themselves. That does not mean they lose their right to fire upon somebody if they are fired upon. They don't lose that right. Huh?
Hold on. Let's focus on this. What we're really talking about here is not really about the no-knock warrant. It's about qualified immunity.
But the no-knock warrant is essential into that, because if it wasn't a no-knock warrant, they would have to announce themselves. That's the whole thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, but I got you. What me and said her rule was kind of really trying to make a point at is that it's not justice, it's unjust, it's injustice.
But you gotta look at it like this.
No, let me make the
Go
point. Let me make the point because I agree with you. In the situation of an officer, in active duty, if he is doing his job, responding to, somebody firing upon him or whatever the case, his life being a threat, and an innocent person, a bystander, ricocheted or whatever, if that is determined what it is, then yes, that particular officer should not be held liable in that accidental specific situation. But this is the point though. To have a blanket qualified immunity for every officer on the force actually breeds, right, people with ill will, right, in uniform, right, involved situations or shootouts, right, and be involved in these shootouts and by innocent people. We may say it's an innocent person, but who's to say that this officer didn't intentionally? This is racist officers out here that have been killing black people left and right, and and what they explain is, right, it was in defense, self-defense. And guess what? What pops up is what you're saying is 100% correct. You didn't say anything incorrect. It's just that we disagree with the fact that it's right, because it can be in the situation that you spoke about. Yes, it's right, but to have a blanket qualified immunity actually breeds racists, right? To want to get a uniform and do the type of evils that we've been seeing for hundreds of years, and be able to have qualified immunity under the name of performing your active duty, and they'll explain it away. Oh, this was an innocent casualty. They didn't mean it. When in actuality, this officer intentionally meant to kill this man. He had his knee on his neck. You know what I'm saying? These officers are deliberately murdering and using excessive force on people, and they just go back and say it was under self-defense, or he was resisting arrest.
Facts. All facts.
And what that breeds. So I'm not disagreeing with you on the innocent officer that's performing his duty. What we're talking about is these demons that are getting away with this fucking evil under the name of qualified immunity of performing your job.
Yep. No matter what you and the thing of it is, man. Here's something too, man. Like, I didn't know they actually had a search warrant for Breonna Taylor. So pardon itself for, you know what I'm saying, the misinformation I put. Pardon itself when I'm wrong. I apologize for that, Chavis. Thank you for clearing it up. But here's another question, though. The reason they supposedly went into the house, did they find what they were looking for?
No.
Okay, I rest my case.
But that's not okay. So watch this.
No. Wait. Okay, I feel you. Okay, I feel you. I feel what you're about to say. But let me ask you a question. If somebody say, I heard Master U is holding drugs in his house, you understand what I'm saying? It ain't no sting opera. I guess it ain't no whatever that person said supposedly. They kick my door in. I knock one of the police out. I get jumped by the other ones, get beat up. I get dragged to the house. They don't find nothing in the house that they say they were looking for. Say they're actually wrong. You got the wrong house, the wrong person, nothing. You kicked my door in. I didn't know who you was. So I tipped one of you off. I punched one of you, then I got jumped. I got my ribs broke, whatever the situation may happen. So I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying, but it goes back to what the brother was saying. Whenever a cop or anybody who is in the wrong, it's like no matter, how can I put this?
their worst wrong is still deemed as right. The law is written that way. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my issue. It's like your worst wrong. Your worst wrong. And you kill somebody, and the very thing that you went searching for, you never found.
Yeah.
You don't have any evidence or nothing off of just somebody say it. It's like these white women going around saying the white woman who was in the park with a dude said, "Oh my God, please come down. He's about to get me. He's about to get me. Oh my God." Okay, so that's what she said. So the cops come, say they beat this black guy up. They said, "Well, we came because this is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she said." You don't have no proof of nothing, but because you the police, it's all good. It's all good because you the cop. Well, you're in the right.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think where you're coming from, but that's not how the search warrants work. The search warrants, you have to provide evidence. You can't just say somebody told me. So when you do a regular warrant, you got to bring forth a certain amount of evidence. When you do no-knock warrants, you got to bring, it's way more evidence than that you got to bring. And the police officers are not the ones that approve the warrants. They got to go to a judge. So police officers, what they have to do is the chief and them, they have to go out, they have to do probably wiretaps, get snitches, set up stakeouts in front of the house, take pictures, all of these type of things before they even get a warrant. And then you got to do more than that just to get a no-knock warrant. So it's not like a situation where people just saying, "Oh, I think they got stuff in their house," and then they just bombard the house. It's like, no, they have to go through a process to get that stuff approved. So hold up, let me say this. And the thing is about this is like, let's say if we staking out in front of your house and we see you bringing guns and drugs and all that stuff in your house, and then we say, look, we got the pictures, we got all this, we did all the evidence that we got to do to get a warrant, and then we come to your house to arrest you and to get the drugs and stuff, but they not there. You trying to say I'm wrong just because they not there anymore? It's like, no, we know they was there at one particular time. Now you just moved it before we can get you. And that's how a lot of these situations happen. Sometimes people move the drugs faster. And if you're a real good strategic drug dealer, you can be one step ahead of the cops to the point where they'll hit your house, but your house already be cleaned out because you was one step ahead. And that's why a lot of these situations like that, when people is moving that fast, and that's going on like kingpin levels, or I ain't say kingpin level, but when them people that's on the level where they taking over whole cities. But when them people on them type of levels, that's when they normally really do the no-knock warrants, and they keep everything incognito because it's hard to catch them. So it's like, we have to implement some type of other strategy in order to catch them off their game. But the thing is about Breonna Taylor and them is like, it wasn't just a whim. They had to get enough evidence. Now we can, like I said earlier, when I first said it, you can argue if the judge should have approved the no-knock warrant, but then you would have to go get all the documentations that the police provided, and then basically weigh across that district or across multiple districts and see if any other judge would approve a no-knock warrant for that type of situation. Then you can be like, all right, the judge, yeah, he should have never approved that no-knock warrant. But then at that point, the police officer still wouldn't be in fault. It would be the judge's fault, because it's just like, if I'm going to get a license to start a truck company, and I go in and I be like, all right, this is all the information I got, but I didn't bring all the information I need. But the person at the desk approved me for my license. That's not my fault. That's the person at the desk fault. He should have did his job better. So then it would fold out into that type of situation where you still couldn't charge the cops because the cops was just operating according to the law. The judge said, y'all have the right to go in this house with a no-knock warrant, and then they executed a no-knock warrant. And even if they find something in there or not, it doesn't matter.
This is what you're leaving out. You say they have to get all this information to get the no-knock warrant, but yet the brother wasn't even there. They went there for. So
they had two people on the warrant. They had Breonna Taylor and they had the other guy.
Well, I haven't seen that warrant with Breonna Taylor's name on it.
She was on the same one.
I haven't seen that. But I'm just saying, because they said that initially the story was that they went there for, and the person was already incarcerated. That's initially what the story was. And initially they didn't say they had a warrant for her. They said that it was a warrant for him initially. So this new
those people leaving information out
on the warrant. I ain't seen it, but my thing is this, man. Like, I deal with something called just balance. I'm a very balanced person, and I don't need the government or no laws to tell me right is right and wrong is wrong. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. If you take somebody's life, whether by accident or not, you're held liable. That's just it. Now, the law can say this. The law can say, well, because you're a police officer and you're working and whatever. But regular law, there are something called just regular laws. They are natural laws. If you take somebody's life,
That's a fact.
you're wrong. It ain't no sugar.
Let me ask you this question. If somebody break into your house with a gun, you don't have the right to kill that person?
Huh?
If somebody break into your house with a gun, trying to harm you, you don't have the right to kill that person.
That's self-defense.
Okay, but you just said if you take somebody's life, then you're wrong. He just took that person's life.
Okay, but in self-defense.
See, this is the thing about right and wrong. No, listen, this is the thing about right and wrong. The thing about right and wrong
slow down. Just in self-defense, it's either you or me. But what we're talking about, what I'm explaining to you is you're talking about if the cops shoot and the bullet ricochet and kill somebody, that they are not liable. And
they're not in the line of duty.
Okay, in the eye of the law, it ain't. But I have not accepted that.
Okay.
So I have not accepted that they are not liable. You have accepted it according to law. But what I'm telling you, according to the natural law of things, they caused a death.
Yes.
That's
and
a natural. That's natural.
You gotta understand about this.
If somebody breaking my house, and shooting, and if I shoot them, I caused the death. Whether it was self-defense or not, I killed somebody. But when I'm talking about a stray book, and I've seen cases wherein the cops say that when he called somebody, they shoot somebody 55 times and they blame the suspect. The suspect get charged for all these murders. Like, come on, man. My thing is, have we lost common sense? Are we just so naive just to say, just because they've written it down there? Because we gotta understand, the people that wrote these laws, these people that write in these laws, they are not just people. They are not upright standing people that are writing these laws that we are following. I mean, look at how they got this country. Look at how this country is built. So now these same people that are unjust, that are unrighteous, now are giving us laws. And then the people that they whip and castrated and done whatever they done to us, now we are the descendants of these people, of these evil people. Now we are looking at the laws that these unjust people wrote down, and we are justifying it as if it's righteous. And it's just mind-boggling to me that you will have some injustice and unrighteous people to write down things on a piece of paper, and then you have people that are descendants of the ones that was unjustly done by these people, and now we're going to sit here and justify.
No, this is how you got to look at it, man. Look, you are called upon, as if you was a police officer, you are called upon to protect and serve the community. That means the dangerous stuff that when somebody break in my house or break in my car, or somebody hold a store hostage, you are the person that has to come. You cannot retreat. You cannot say, oh, I'm gonna call somebody else. No, you are the help. You are the one that has to come when it's a terrorist attack inside a bank.
Davis, do you know what police came from?
Man, you gotta let me speak.
No, because obviously I don't think you know where police come from. You know where the concept of policing came from? Because it comes from slave catchers. Do you know that?
Okay.
I'm saying, do you even know that?
Take that. I heard of it before, but
no, it's not heard of. It's actual facts. That the concept of fellas. I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm asking you. I gotta get somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
I have to get somewhere with it, man. Because like,
Okay.
Let's put a time limit on each bike. You know what I mean? Let's take it. You know what I mean? Let's do.
I'm gonna
do
mute my mic, man. I'm just mute
No.
This what I'm trying to tell you. So let me say this. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I would even accept that concept as if it's true. But what I would not accept is just because of the origins of where police officers came from, that means we need to get rid of police officers, period. No, we need people to protect and serve the communities. So when people come in our communities and sell drugs, when people come in our houses and try to break in our houses, people that come and try to rob banks and stuff like that, who are we going to call? We have to have a police force. That's just, you just cannot eradicate the police just because it came from slave catchers. And then you got to still look at the mind frame that was in the slave catcher mind frame. The slave catcher mind frame was the slaves are my property. So the police is there to give you back your property. And now we don't have slaves anymore in that sense, if you want to go that route. I'm not trying to go that route. But what I'm talking about is I have a house, I have a car, I have a business. I need someone to protect my business. I need someone I can call to protect my property. And that person I will be calling is 911, period. And then, so now when you look at it from this standpoint, if you was a police officer, if you wanted to take up that position, or not even you, if I was to take up that position, or if your children was to take up that position, they are the ones being called upon when danger happens. So now when this police officer is called, you have to come to 110 Johnson Street. And now when you come to Johnson Street, it's somebody in the house that's ready to fire upon you. I have to be able to match his force I have to be able to match his force with my force. And if in that altercation, if somehow my bullet ricocheted and hit an innocent bystander, we will give you immunity because we know you was out there on the behalf of community service, and you cannot control how your bullets fly as long as it's in a reasonable situation. If a police officer just starts spinning around and shooting every single house on the block, then hell no, lock his ass up. But if he's trying to hit his target, and he's focused on hitting this target and trying to eradicate the target that is causing any type of bad thing in the community, you cannot fault him for that. That's what I'm saying. You cannot, and I don't care because they've written in law. That's just common sense to me. Like, if you are being called, if a military person is being called to go to war in Iraq, and then something happened over there in Iraq, and a kid run up on him, and they trying to tell this kid to stop because they already been in situations where kids ran up on people and blew people up, and he shoot that damn kid, you cannot fault that soldier. We done seen it unfold plenty of times. You got to look at it from that situation. You just can't say, oh, it's just right and wrong is wrong. Right and wrong is not that clear in every situation. All situations is different. The devils are in the details. So you got to pay attention to the details of the situation so you can arrive to a conclusion where it wasn't right for this officer to use deadly force. These officers came into the house without announcing themselves, no knock warrant. When they came into the house, a shot was fired upon them, and one of their fellow officers got hit. Them officers has the right to fire back. And if somebody end up getting hit from that, then that's that. But like I said, in the same situation, they pay them families out that end up becoming casualties to a situation that happened with a police shootout with another citizen. They pay them families that. Now, of course, you're gonna say that's not justice because that police officer should be locked up. But it's like, who gonna sign up to be a police officer after that? If this person is shooting a AR-15, a 45 caliber, anything like that at me, and now I can't shoot back because if I shoot back and I miss, and I make a mistake and hit somebody else, I'm getting locked up for murder. Like, you gotta think logically about that. You cannot lock them guys up for murder if they make that type of mistake in a reasonable situation that anybody else will fire back at this person that is trying to kill them. That is just reasonable. I don't care if that was written into law or not.
Okay, so
hold on. He said a lot.
It's not like he agreeing with you now.
Hold on.
No, I'm not agreeing with him. What I'm saying
He said a lot. He said a lot. Hold on, Travis. Now, for one, I never said anything about. I don't care. I never said anything about defunding the police. So that's an argument for somebody else. All right.
So why did you hold on? All right, before you go,
it sounds like we agree now.
But hold on, Travis.
I'm gonna say this one little thing. Well, why would you bring up the situation about where the police came from as if that had any type of matter in a situation with police?
Okay,
there was no point in bringing that up.
Now I'm explaining it to you. Since you asked, I'm glad you asked. Now I can explain it to you why I brought it up. Because I brought up where it came from because the origins of police was to police and catch black folks and harm black folks. And to this day, they still doing the same thing.
Okay.
It ain't
Now, I
never
agree with you.
changed.
I agree
That
with
was
you,
the that
but
was the purpose of me bringing up the concept of policing was to catch slaves.
all
It
right,
was
let me
all
say this.
it
Do
was
you
all
think
it was all hold up. It was all people running for freedom, people
Mhm.
that wanted to be free. So
Yeah.
they found somebody to catch them to say, no, you can't be free. We're gonna bring you back. But that's a whole nother different conversation. Well, hold up. You
Okay,
brought
but
up
let
the
me ask you this one
military.
thing, because I'm about
You
to give
brought
you
up the
another question,
military.
and you can just keep going with this.
You brought
And
up
you
the
can just keep
military.
going. In
Hold up. You
your
brought up
look,
the hold
do
up.
you
You brought
ever
up the
think?
military. Hold up. You brought up the
Yeah.
military. In the military, there's something that scenario that you brought up, that person in the military is gonna get charged with Article 15 and get discharged from the service because you have rules of engagement in the
I
military.
know, I understand that.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, in the military, that person will get locked up and get an Article 15 and gonna get kicked out of the military because you have
Okay.
rules of engagement. You cannot just kill a kid because they're running up to you. You can't. It's
Okay.
called rules of engagement. Now, as far as this whole situation, you saying that, but with Breonna Taylor, they were shooting all through the side of the house. So they hadn't identified no target. They was just shooting.
Hold
on, slow down. They didn't identify no target. They was just shooting because they shot through the side of the house. You see the bullets. They were shooting through, so they didn't even know where they were shooting at or who they were
Because you didn't
shooting
know
at.
where the bullets
They were
coming
just
from.
shooting. Then also, it don't sign up for the job.
Bro, what you mean?
Listen, don't listen. If that's what you're afraid of, keep your scary ass home.
Look, man.
I mean, listen,
man.
I preserve life. I believe in preserving life.
Hey,
I don't believe that just because you're going to pay somebody off or you say because you give them money. No, if you kill somebody, your ass need to be held accountable. End of discussion. It's no wiggle room with me with that.
Yes, it is. Oh,
Not with me, it ain't.
Okay.
With me, there's no wiggle room. There is no wiggle room. Oh, well, because I was shooting and I was returning fire. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. But shit happened. Well, guess what? You killed somebody. Now you tell that to that family. You tell that to that. You tell that to that grieving son who don't got a father or mother no more. That they were just doing their job and their parent got killed through a ricochet bullet because of police. No, nobody want to hear that. Let that happen to some of your children, somebody that you love. You don't want to hear that, man. So I don't care about defunding police. That ain't something else. I don't care about them. One way or the other. If you defund them, keep them, I don't care. Because I know how to control. But when it comes to
everybody else don't.
When it comes to life and dealing with life and dealing with the presumption of life, as soon as human beings stop caring about life and start worrying about rules or jobs more than that, we're losing our humanity. No. We are humans. No, and we have to preserve life, man. We have to preserve
humans
life.
Are, listen, if you just study history, you will see humans have an innate evil in them, period. All you gotta do is study history. Like you talking as humans are these utopian creatures that just does everything flawless. Hell no, humans are corrupt. I'm gonna tell you something. A writer, Alexander Charles Nixon, said. He said, and this is a guy that was locked up in the concentration camps in Russia during the World War II era, and he wrote a book called The Gulag Archipelago. Go get that book. It's a 3-volume book, and it's a real long read. He said in there, he said, from him being locked up in a concentration camp for writing one of his friends that how poorly Stalin is prepared for this war, he got sent into concentration camp. He wrote in there. So now you talking about a person that just wrote a letter to his friend saying, we are not prepared for what happened with Germany because Hitler had, he signed a pact with Stalin that he wanted to attack him, and then Hitler surprise attacked him. So the Russians wasn't ready for that. And Charles Nixon wrote a friend telling him that. When the officers collected that letter and read it, they put him in prison. And even him in his prison sentence with being treated like that, he even said it himself. He said, the line that divides good and evil runs down every human's heart. It's like you can't just say without rules, it would be some type of utopia. It's like, hell no, just read history. Humans are evil. Humans are evil. That's just how we are in nature. I'm not
Hey,
trying to
what
say we
part of
don't have
history?
a good
What
nature.
part of
I'm
what
talking
part
about
of history?
any history.
Hold
Oh
on.
my God, King.
What part of history are you talking about when you say humans are terrible? What part of history?
Every since humans existed, that every single any part of history that is documented for us to be able to go out and go back and look, and since humans been on living, every part of history. You can't show me not one part.
That humans are just that.
brother.
That
I'm not
humans are
saying
just
humans are
evil.
100. No, I'm not saying humans are 100% evil. Listen to the quote. What it said. It said the line that divides good and evil runs down every human heart. So what it's saying is every human has good in their heart, and
everybody got good and everybody got bad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So even when you look at humans today, go to Chicago. These people kill you for no reason. I got my stepdad is from Chicago.
Oh my God.
Listen.
Yo.
Okay, look, we ain't
we
even
got,
gotta go to Chicago. We ain't gotta go to Chicago. You can come to my city in Portsmouth. I know people right now in Portsmouth that will kill you if you say something wrong to them. Like all you gotta do is utter a few words. All you gotta do is look at me funny, and you're dead. Like
So
you can't
you
sit
said-
here and try to
so you
say
said-
you can't.
Oh, okay.
What?
Hold on, fellas.
You saying
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
Go ahead.
just got one last point, Master You.
go
I
ahead.
just got one point. When we talking about, I think we diverting from the issue, but not to say that I agree with you. It's good and evil in all races and humanity from the beginning. What we dealing with right here, right now, is the evil, racist individuals who have been controlling the police departments across this nation for hundreds of years. Now, we're not talking about every modern officer, because there's a lot of officers that join law enforcement to do, as you said, to protect the community, to protect property, protect the nation, or protect and serve, as they say. But what we're talking about here is an institutionalized racism that controls the police department, that controls the FBI, that controls these departments that do the investigations when a murder happens. And they have also benefited from this qualified immunity that is blanketed across all officers. It's automatic that if an officer claims self-defense, right? They have these investigative departments, also racist, who will corroborate this self-defense story. And so the whole ricochet thing will be very prominent. These incidents will all seem like mistakes. This is what we're talking about here. This is what these demons have been claiming after they've been shooting our people over and over and over. Self-defense. I feared for my life. He was using, he was resisting arrest. I saw a gun, and it was a cell phone. It was a book. It was a Bible. You said, and guess what? Because of qualified immunity and institutionalized racism, that again, like I said, when the investigation starts, it's the racists. Sometimes they family. You see what I'm saying? They'll investigation, or they'll prolong it like they're doing right now with Breonna Taylor's investigation. No one has been arrested. How can you tell me that an investigation of a murder is taking place anywhere and no one has been arrested? Arrested meaning sat down. Arrested does not mean
police custody.
Arrested means you pull the person in, you sit them down, you talk them, you question them just like you do anybody else that has been involved in a crime or in any type of incident. That should involve an investigator or FBI agent. It should involve the president if he was involved in a crime. You see what I'm saying? Now you're saying that that it's the law. Well, to protect the good officers in situations where accidents occur. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who utilize this blanketed qualified immunity so that they can murder our people. What about that? Do you think that that is just? That's the question.
No,
Hold
no,
on,
I don't.
hold on,
No,
hold
I
on,
don't.
hold on.
But let me
Good.
answer that because he just asked me a question. If you are a police officer or in any form of authority, that means schools, police officers, anybody that yields, that is put in position of authority, if you abuse the laws there, no, it's not right. Then my question that I would have to ask y'all is if y'all disagree with the whole thing. Well, if y'all, I'm gonna just ask y'all the question. The question I have to ask y'all is, how do you distinguish between the racist cop situation and the cop situation where it wasn't racist? This is just something that just happened because of how the whole thing folded out. How do you distinguish against them? That's the whole point. You can't
No,
say
so I got you. No, I got you.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Hold on. Oversight.
Look, hold on.
Yeah.
If I come up, if I'm a cop and I come to a scene, and let's say if I am racist, let's say I'm a white man and I'm racist, and I shoot this black guy down, right? And let's say if the black guy had a gun on him. And then let's say if another situation folded out, where you take a white cop and he comes to the scene and he's not a racist and he shoot the black guy because the black guy had a gun out. How do you distinguish which one was a racist act? That's the point. You can't
I can tell you a number of things that can be admitted as evidence in court. A polygraph test is one of them. There's many things that can be admitted as evidence in court, as far as race or why the motivation of why a particular crime has occurred. So, like I said, a polygraph test is just one of them, and also
they don't use polygraph tests in court. They're not
reliable. They're not as reliable.
But this is what you got to ask yourself with this brief. Because we're talking about Breonna Taylor. How can you prove that the cops was racist that shot Breonna Taylor? Tell me the evidence you have.
Hold on, Chavis. Hold on. So let me rewind back. We first started on Breonna Taylor based off what I said when they did it for no apparent reason. I admitted that I was wrong, and they did have a particular warrant to go in her house. You get what I'm saying? So I give you kudos for that. Second of all, her lawyer is saying that they have false information and that the warrant was given within 12 minutes, and even though evidence has been found, you know what I'm saying, at all. You get what I'm saying? That's where we originally started at. And basically what you were saying on, not saying that you were siding with the cops, you were just saying that by the order of the law, the cops in themselves were justified in what they're doing. That's all you were saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, that based on the law, and I don't think any of us are saying that based on the law, they were in the right. I do know there's a lot of things going on. Like I just finished reading, y'all were talking, things going on. I know they no longer have that no knock warrant. They got rid of that no knock warrant. And there's some other things going on. I'm not sure if they had body cams, anything, because I know now I thought they had stuff where police supposed to have body cams. So now it becomes a he say, she say, and then he say, she say, automatically the judge is going to go in favor with the cops. I have two incidents in my life to let you know the cops were 100% in the wrong, but because there was no cameras recorded, the judge automatically sided on the cops. Now, moving on, when you and Seth Haru were talking about in terms of their life, if somebody break into my house with intention or on the street with you have the intent of, and there is no way, shape, or form, I believe you have every right to defend yourself. Now, however you defend yourself, whatever, that's up to you. I'm not going to say kill. So that's up to you. However you deem to neutralize the threat, that's on you and your mentality at the particular point. Now, to add on to some more. Now, how do we extinguish from a good cop or a bad cop, or from a racist cop to a cop that is not racist? Based on the world that we're living in, if you are a black male or black female, it is for us, I assume that all of them are racist, even the black ones. And you may say that I'm wrong, and I very well may be wrong, but I'm gonna tell you my reasoning why. Because I have been in 3 incidents with myself, with personally myself, with cops who are black and cops who are white. You understand what I'm saying? And every last one of them treated me a particular way. So I automatically assume that when you come to me, that you're gonna have a particular type of energy towards me. You understand what I never said I was going to combat you or argue with you, but I automatically assume that you want to catch me slipping and pull a bullet in me or somehow throw me away. You understand what I'm saying? I automatically assume that. So that is why personally I walk past cops, I don't bother them, I don't say nothing to them. I don't have nothing to say to you. You get what I'm saying? If you're not racist, then great. If you are racist, ain't none of my business. I don't care. You keep it pushing. But the issue for me as a black man, I have to teach my kids and my nieces and my nephews that irregardless of what color cop that you see, here's what's going on TV. Even if the cop is in the wrong, chances are 99.9 times out of 10, the cop is going to be off and you're in the wrong. We live in a country, man, no joke. If you are a black, the reason why black people don't fight back is because we don't want to die, and because we have kids behind us, we don't leave our kids behind. And the second thing of it is that if a cop is they're in the wrong, if we do any bodily harm to the cop, what happened to us? We're either going to die or go to jail. We have seen, and I know people say, well, majority of white people get killed by the cops than black. Yes, but also a study said that if you are black, you are 3 times more likely to be killed. It is because there's more of you. That is why. But you know what I'm saying? So anytime there's energy put towards a black person, it's completely different. We've seen it. The white people outside and congregate, oh, no big deal. But when black people congregate, oh, let's beat them up and lock them up. If you are a cop no matter what color you are, and your first inclination is to exude power over someone, it is. I'm not saying it is never, but a lot of times, I'm not saying never. It is never a situation of logic. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The true testament of power is, how do I deal when something is calm? Now, I'm not saying if you go and, if something going on and you need the cops, you call the cops. Okay, cool. I understand that. I get that. But a lot of times, a cop will immediately impose a level of inferiority towards you to make you feel like you are less than them. And that's not what it's about. The only difference between you and I is you have a badge on and I do not. You take your badge off. You put your pants on the same. I put my pants on. And please understand, you are a human. That's what you are first. So treat me with that due diligence of respect. But unfortunately for us as black people, I have to assume that this is how all you are. When I go talk to my kids, I don't be like, oh, the cop's going to do this. No, I don't tell them that. I do not tell them that. I say, when a cop pull you over, let me tell you understand what I'm saying? It makes sense what I'm saying, though?
Look, I feel where you're coming from, but what I'm trying to say is this. Black people, and I understand why we do this, because there's a lot of oppression that came particularly just because of our color. And it was told to us that it was explicit, like they actually told you, you're dirty, I hate your dark skin, I hate your big nose, I hate your big lips. They actually explicitly said it. I understand
3/5 of a human being. 3/5 of a human.
But what you got to understand is this. It's plenty of reasons why somebody is going to do something wrong to you or misjudge you or something like that. It's not always about the color of your skin. I've been put over by police plenty of times. I've been harassed by the police a few times in my estimation. And some of these situations, every situation, I always looked at it as because I was black. Every single situation. That's how I looked at it. I never looked at it like, maybe I did do something that raised his suspicion. Maybe he just is a bad cop and he just want to come out here and wreak havoc. Like, he just feel like, oh, look, today I'm gonna come out here and whoever I see that I want to fuck with, I'm gonna fuck with him. Because you gotta look at it like this. If you try to say just because a cop treated you bad, you had 3 altercations where interaction with a cop and you felt they was being racist. Why couldn't they just how come the cops couldn't just be prejudging you and think you just was a thug and they don't like thugs? So they just look at you like, look at this dude right here, man. He up to no good. Because this is the thing. It's not only black people that complain about police brutality. It's not only black people that complain about that. And then man, there's so much I can. No. It's like, look, everybody is doing it. Look, right now in this exact time frame, go look at other nations and other countries and see how they protesting against their police officers. They doing the same exact in their countries. Hold on, but let me say in their countries, they are mostly one ethnic background. And they still put on terrorizing. They still talking about police brutality because it's the power. This is the same concept that people say power corrupts and absolute power fully corrupts. I can't remember exactly how it was said.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts.
Yeah, when you give people power, people will turn into certain things. You'll see that power bring things out of people that you probably never would have seen if they never had that power. Like a lot of these people that got bullied when they was kids, give them some power and be a police officer and watch how they be. It's because they filled with resentment. They something has happened to them in their past probably. Something probably happened at their home. They probably they probably can't pay their bills. Their wife probably cheating on them. And then they come to work and take it out on whoever they see. It's like you can't boil everything down to race. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
but
You
listen,
cannot just say
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
That's why you need
Chavis,
psychological
Chavis,
evaluations
But
before you
look,
become a
but
police officer.
according to
hold on.
what you
Let me say
said,
one thing. Say
they
one
get
thing.
immunity. They get
Let me say.
qualified immunity. Remember what you just said, Chavis, now.
Yes,
But
yes.
these police officers get qualified immunity. So remember, they come to work, they got bad days too, like everybody else, right?
Yep,
And they have stuff going on like everybody else. But they get qualified immunity. Remember that now.
And I don't agree with them type ones getting the qualified immunity. That's what
But
I'm saying. And the
but
only
how
way
can,
that this
just like you asked the question to
I'm about
Nabat,
to tell
how
you.
do
I know
you
exactly
know,
what you're about to
how
say.
can you tell the difference between the ones that is being legit and the ones that's not? How can you tell?
And
Because
just
we all know that the
I feel you.
police
I
force
feel you.
was infiltrated by the KKK. They came out with
Yep.
reports.
Yep.
So how
Go
can
look
you
at a
tell
video.
the difference?
I want y'all to go look. It's being that you mentioned that. Go look up the video. I don't know if y'all know the dude. His name Daryl Davis. Y'all ever heard of him? Go look at him up on Joe Rogan podcast. There's a black guy, and he have a robe from a Klansman that was in the Maryland or I think Baltimore Police Department. He actually have a robe from one of the. He talked to the Klansman. The Klansman ended up getting out, and he got the robe from him, and he showed him on Joe Rogan podcast. He was like, "Yo, this robe right here came from a police officer." And he talked about how I think like three of the presidents that got elected, three of them, they was Klansmen. I feel you on that. I'm not denouncing that it's bad police officers or that it's some police officers in the force that actually have racist intent behind what they do. I understand that. The problem comes in how do we differentiate them? And then like you threw the question back at me. Yes, the only way we can even have a logical discussion about what happened is we have to just look at the evidence that we have. And sometimes it's so unfortunate, like they don't have body cams. So now we just have to go by words. We can't see exactly how it folded out, but that's just an unfortunate situation.
So Chavis, here's like I don't disagree with a lot of things that you're saying, but here's something that I say. I personally do not trust any police officer, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't.
I feel you on that. I feel you.
History has shown me that I should not trust you. History has shown me that I. How many? I know you mentioned Chicago. I have to go about why ghettos where they are. I'm not gonna go down that entire rabbit hole. But for me personally, I do not trust any police. I'm gonna tell you why. Where are all these good cops? All these assuming good cops when the bad things happen? I'm for real. Like when people say they're awesome, my dad is the police. He good. Show me. Okay, cool. He arrested such and such on such and such street. Okay, great. What about the little evil? Because cops know that there's Klan members in there, and if you truly upholding the law, you won't allow these things to go in there. These people are protected. Now I'm not. No. Please understand something. Everything that you're saying according to the law, I get you. According to the law, this is what it is. You're right according to the law. But just because something is lawful, don't make it right. Owning slaves one time was lawful. And so for me, in order for me to, Muhammad Ali said this best. They said, Muhammad, do you hate all white people? He said, no, I don't. And he said, but then I can't remember how the guy described. He said, if there are 10,000 snakes coming to get me, and there's 10 snakes out of that 10,000 that are really good snakes. He said, but I can't differentiate which one is good and which one is bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the door on every last one of them because I don't know who is. I have no idea. I don't have time to sift through to figure out what's good or I don't know. And now you are having so-called Karens of people who are calling the police on black people and saying these people are black doing X, Y, Z, because even they have the narrative that if I say this is a black man, that this is what it is. And so what I'm saying is what you're saying based on law, that's cool based on law. To the law, that's correct. But that don't make certain things morally correct. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And for me, that's my issue. My issue is I get the law is the law. You know what I'm saying? Certain sexual acts is against the law. They hit people doggy style. That was unlawful, but people do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not disagreeing with your brother in terms of what's lawful. But what I am saying, just because something is lawful, don't necessarily make it right. You know, and don't necessarily mean that I agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm the same way. But that's what I'm saying. When we look at the law, just because it's written in law, we're not going to say it's right. But when you start to go through why this law was, well, what is this law built to protect? The specific law we was talking about it is there to protect incidents that happen in the field with police officers trying to conduct police business. That's what it's there for. And that's just what it's there for. It's like, yeah, sometimes the police can be trying to neutralize a threat, and the threat is shooting at them, and they might shoot back, and they might make a mistake and hit somebody. It's there to protect the police officer from getting charged with murder. And I feel that's right, not just because it's law. That's just how I feel. I feel certain people in certain positions should have a certain type of privilege in law or in some type of situation, just like teachers or just like your boss, if you got a job, just like anybody in any position of authority, they have certain privileges. And just like the people that's working, like you a regular worker, you have certain privileges that the authorities don't have. Because like I said, and this is what I was trying to tell him earlier, right and wrong is just not that clear cut. It's not. And this is what the modernists, if you read the 20th century, this is what the modernists was pushing. They was pushing that we can rationalize, humans can be calculated. Everything can be calculated to the T on what's right and what's wrong. And that's what folded out in the 20th century with the Russians and with Hitler and them. They was trying to say we don't need laws, and we can actually rationalize human beings off everything we write. And it's like at a certain point, well, not that we don't need laws. What they were saying is right and wrong is so much of a clear border that it's easy to distinguish between the two. But that's not right. That is not right when you just look at situations. A lot of the situations that happen when it comes to whether this was right or wrong, it's in the details. You have to pay attention to the details, and details changes through every situation. So one situation, it can be right, and one situation, it can be wrong. And that's what you have to pay attention to. That's why you can't just say, oh, just because you did this is wrong and that's it. It's like, no, you gotta pay attention to the details. You have to. But like the whole thing about when you said, when Muhammad Ali said he don't trust none of the snakes, that is, and that is a mindset that's basically, that the fundamental element of that mindset is a racist mindset. Because what a racist believe is everybody in this group is so much alike that if I meet one of you, I know how all of you are. And that's what white people was operating on. Oh, you see one black person acting this way, all black people are like this. And this is how some of the police officers are acting. Oh, he's black, he got dreads, he was sagging his pants, well, he a thug man. Just throw him in a group with the thugs, because when we look over here, that's how the thugs dress. You cannot operate in the world like that. If you operate in the world like that, man, when you go out in your neighborhood and you see some thugs standing on the block and you see that they black with dreads or with a haircut or with wearing their clothing some type of way, you better put every single black person you ever see dressed like that inside that same exact category. You cannot do that. It will lead to the exact racist thing that we always fight against. It will lead to that. You cannot put people in groups and just try to identify every person in the group with one individual that came out of the group. That is actually fundamental racist. You can't do that.
So Chavis, so here's what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So obviously, you're a man of history. You're talking about you're talking about history and Hitler, et cetera, and you're saying what I said about Muhammad Ali was racist. Now I already know the definition of racism, but anyway, that's that would be being that's a prejudice act. You know what I'm saying? You don't, what I'm saying? But anyway, nevertheless, yeah. I would say this, man. If you are, what reason, and let me ask you this, what reason has white people had to hate black people? I want to go through history. What have we done to white people to make them hate us? What have we done? When we were brought here to America, what did we do to white people to make them hate us? Because but if I look here in America, what has happened to us? The reason why Muhammad Ali said what he said, black people couldn't sit on the bus. You got to sit to the back. Yep. Black people can't use this bathroom or restroom. So that's why he said what he said. He said, I don't have the time to sift through any of you all, because every time I turn around, this is how my people are being treated. In the day's time that we say that slavery has ended, et cetera,
That's what they say. Have you seen Ava Marie's? Ava DuVernay's movie, 13th. You know what I'm saying? We see what black people do on a daily. Black people getting all type of stuff, man. That is why he said what he said. That is why a lot of black people are doing their best. And it's always black people. Oh, we got to take the high road. Now we let them be the way they are, but we got to take the high road. We got to take the high road. No, we're gonna pray to Jesus. And we're gonna forgive them. It's okay. Dylan Roof gonna come into church and shoot everybody. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. No, the reason people do that is because based on history. This is what's been. This is how things are. Even on TV, the narrative that they create of black people is one of death and destruction. In the music industry, they anytime somebody talk about uplifting or promoting black people, that is not what's ever promoted. What we promote is dick sucking, gang banging, shooting, and we don't own the record labels. They own the record labels, and there have been people of white color who have said that they talked to the record executives and told them, no, you can't put you're going to put this type of music out. You ain't going to put this type of music out. Rick Ross has said something in a song about raping somebody, and that was wrong. I agree with it. You talk about you putting a molly, that was completely wrong. I don't agree with that. But anytime you talk about killing a nigga, no, that's okay. That's fine. So get what I'm saying? So they get to pick. So they get to pick and choose what's right and wrong. But then it's like if somebody killed every member of your family, and then you hate them, and somebody said, "Well, you should them." No, you killed everyone in my family, so I don't care about you or your kids. I don't care about none of you all. I'm not taking that high road because as long as we've been here in America, based on their history, it has always been you taking things from me. You put me in a ghetto as an experiment to see what happened. Rick Ross even said that the CIA gave me drugs to put in these communities. These gangbangers said that the police would dress up in other gang clothes and come through and shoot up the neighborhood. That they started the gang wars. The whole thing with COINTELPRO, it's what they did. But the moment I hate you, you get mad at me because I hate you. You tell me no. Don't hate me because no. I hate you. Now I'm not saying I'm not saying I hate you, but I'm saying I'm just saying in general. You get mad. You get mad at me for what I'm saying, but look at what you did to me. It's like for example, it's like for example, man. If I go to school, like if you constantly demean your child, you demean them, you do every single day, and then they begin to resent you, but you get mad and say, well, no, I'm your father. Your position of power doesn't mean anything because I still feel the way that I feel based on how you treated me. Since we've been here in America, man, we have always been reactionary to them. You understand what I'm saying? It has been a reaction. The reason why I assume all cops certain way is because of a reaction. You know what I'm saying? It's a reaction because of how not because of what I've seen, but because how I've been treated. Now, have I been treated decent by some cops? Yes, I have. Have I been treated bad by some cops? Yes, I have. How do I can tell the truth? How do I know who's who? I have no clue. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to educate myself and understand how to move in this world. That doesn't mean that. You understand what I'm saying? There are some white people who really, really hate black people, but you still go work for them. You'll never know because they know how to move around in this society. All I'm saying is this, man. When it comes to Muhammad Ali, he had every right to say what he said because up until the point where he was, that's what was going on. That's all he saw.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
On that. Yeah, I feel exactly on that.
You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
But,
and one more thing, the reason why we talk about black on black crime and black thugs and there's just as much crime going on in white neighborhoods. A lot of stuff, it just a lot of the people who go buy drugs and the meth and the pedophilia, all this type of stuff that go on. A lot of this, now some of it do have a neighborhood. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. You get what I'm saying? But it happens. It happens just as much in them little trailer parks and the methamphetamine. The same thing happened into their neighborhood. But some reason, whenever it comes to black people, it's like oh, they just really really bad. They horrible. They don't apologize for anything they ever did to us. D.W. Griffith did the movie Birth of a Nation and made black people seem like we were just absolutely savages. Did he ever apologize? No. Did any film company apologize for that? No. But we are told to never hate them. Don't hate your oppressor. You should the slave should obey their master. This is what you are. This is what you are taught. If you were in slavery and they broke you, you should hate everyone in that person's family. I said what I said. That's right, because that's what they did to you. They
Yeah.
did that to you. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I think
it becomes hard to remove that. So I'm not saying that I hate nobody. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if you are black, I can understand why. I can understand why. I can understand why you don't trust them. Because if I just look through history, you know what I'm saying? If I look through history, and based on what you're saying, man, in a perfect world, I agree. You know, you should judge all men, you know what I'm saying, like Martin Luther King Jr., based them on the content of their character. You know what I'm saying? Base them on that in a perfect world. Unfortunately, man, the debt that's given to a lot of us black people, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's that's not what it is. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, what you're saying, I don't necessarily agree. I don't agree or disagree with what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, but I also can understand why black people just feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand completely why black people feel it. That's why I said the whole thing about first how, because when you study the history, you see the oppression. But the reason why I say this is because when you start to hate, when you start to have so much resentment built in you from situations that happened to you or your ancestors in the past, you start to become that. And that's the thing you don't want to become, because you will become the white man. You will become the oppressor. Nietzsche said it, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, if you stare long into the abyss, and then eventually you stare so long that the abyss stares back at you, and you become the thing that you once stared at. Like, you cannot allow them to make you corrupt who you are. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yes, I understand why Muhammad Ali said what he said. I feel exactly where he's coming from. And a part of humans, that is primitive in a part of humans. Like, that is just built into our core essence on who we are as a human. We are tribalisms. I mean, we have a nature of tribalism built into us. But what we've seen played out through history is when people cater to that tribalism mentality, you cause these situations where you have people like Hitler, you have people like of course the Nazis, you have people like the KKK that rise up, and then they will be the ones trying to do that same act on you, and then your people gonna turn to that, and then it's gonna be an all-out war where it's just this tribe against this tribe. And I don't want that. Now, if that's what you want, then okay, you can go down that path, but that's not the path I'm trying to go down. I'm trying to go down a path where we can make the community better for everybody to live amongst each other. Because at the end of the day, if you want to keep going to war with people that you live in the same country with, it's like eventually somebody's going to get wiped out and somebody's going to be extinct. And it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to go down that route. So what we do is the ones that's racist, when we can identify the ones that's racist and stuff like that, we point them out and we try to get them locked up. But we don't put that title on every single body just because they belong to this group. Because like you said, you do it with white people, with cops, right? Okay, well, what about black women doing it to you? You're a black man. Most black women, let me say most black women, a lot of black women have been raped, and they've been raped by a black man. A lot of black women have been molested by a black man. A lot of black women have been beat on by a black man. So why can't she just put you in that group then, just like you just put the cops in that group? This is how you got to look at it. It's like, okay, you can do that against them, but it's some group that you are aligned to, that you are a part of, that somebody else can recognize you as an oppressor. It's easy because you are a black man and you recognize police officers as a group that they are in as oppressors and that there's a threat to your life. Okay, well, I just go talk to a black woman and she look at black men as oppressors. And you can go online and you can see them, the intersectional feminists and this LGBT movement that's going on. They hate the heterosexual black man. They actually tell you that is part of the problem with society. Heterosexual men, black, white, or Asian, whatever, because you're a heterosexual male, you are part of some of the problems that we have, and you are part of the oppression. And they view you as that. They don't give a fuck because you black and she's black. That's what you are, because in her life, every time she seen a black man, he was disrespecting her. He was calling her different names. He raped her. He touched her. Even her own father that she thought wouldn't do something like that. Even her own uncle. So why should she spare you the benefit of the doubt? You're a black nigga just like my father was, and you ain't even my father.
So Chavis,
See, you see how this come back and bite you.
No. Because you basically proved my point. No. You can laugh, but you proved my point. You proved what I said. I said, what have black people done in America to make white people hate us? Now, based upon that girl who was
I can't say
raped,
nothing.
right, that's what I'm saying. That woman who was raped by black men, she has every right to feel the way that she feels because that's what she experienced. You understand what
Okay.
that's
So
based on
that's what I'm saying. So you how that prove your
let me
point?
finish. Hold on, wait. Because that's something that happened. What I'm saying is, what have we as black people done to white people to make them hate us, for them to form a clan, for them to want to do all these things to you, do slave, all this stuff. That's what.
That oppression narrative on a group of people just because some white people did something to you or because some cop did something bad to you, what is stopping black women from doing the same thing to you? And if you are trying to say, well, we should see like that, then you should just go ahead and say that black women should see black people stuff. And then you have that narrative, how are you going to ever fix a black family? Because black women don't trust black women.
I can't hear you.
Fix the black family?
Chavis, you're breaking up.
At
Chavis,
that
you're breaking
point,
up.
you're just done. Go ahead and start counting down the dates when you're going to get sick. Because now you can't reproduce no more because you women don't like them. And you gave them every single reason why not to. So what you have to put in there is say, look, yes, some black men are bad, but we cannot continue to live in this world if all these black women just put this whole barrier up and say all black men is bad because I experienced 5 different relationships with bad black men. You can't go down that route. And that's the route you're going down with police officers. And it's like, and that's what I'm trying to show you. The same way you can look at one group and say, oh, because of certain people in this group has done something bad to me, I'm going to consider this whole group oppressive. Other people can do that to you also. And you can do that with anybody. Because everybody is part of some type of group that I can recognize you as, and they just put you in and say, oh, you a male. So we hate their own patriarchy. We hate men, but y'all men do nothing but oppress women. Get out my
Chavis.
Oh,
Chavis.
you're a black male. I'm a black woman. A lot of my rapes come from you. A lot of the black women I know been touched or raped by black.
Chavis, it goes. So what?
And then at that point, you're done.
Chavis,
you have nothing. You don't even have a civilization no more. You gotta just go ahead and count down your extinction date. You can't. We can't look at the world like that. And there's a part of us that looks at the world like that, and it's needed. And that's the thing. You gotta when you study. Look, when you study humans, you can see that this is something you need. So like I run the analogy of the snake.
Chavis, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
And I'm taking this from a literal sense.
Chavis, you're breaking up.
If I'm sitting there and me and my
Chavis, you're breaking up.
If you want to call it that. Sitting
Hello?
We're cooking some type of meat that we just cooked. And
I
then
think
bushes.
He breaking up.
Over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute the brother.
We're just gonna sit here and try to rationalize the situation.
Let me I'm send a chat message to him. Hold
I
on.
know that cat over there probably might not be bad. All these bad situations with all these cats. So then you start looking at the world as predator and prey. Order and chaos. You start looking at the world good and bad. And the cats, they fit in the bad category. They fit in the chaos category. They fit in the category of predator. So I have to just keep myself away from all cats because I don't know what they're going to do. And that is a great survival tactic. But what I'm saying is we are humans and we at a way more sophisticated level of living amongst other humans. So it's like if it's time, at the time that you're in, you have no other choice. Like,
yo, can y'all hear me? Hey, Master you, Nabat, can y'all hear anything?
Yeah, I can hear anything, but I was trying. I sent a message to Chavis letting him know that he had started to sound muffled.
No, he just talking. I can hear him, but he not listening. It's like
he was just. I mean, he was peace everything. Chavis, can you hear me, man? You were sounding muffled, brother.
I muted him because I'm telling you, I was trying to talk to him, but you hear nothing. I think he on speaker here. He in his zone. Unmute your mic, brother. Hey, Chavis, if you can hear us, unmute your mic, man. I think the brother was in a zone. He was just going. He was going. Chavis. But I had to mute him.
He had started. I think I don't know if he would if his speaker was on, he would start to sound kind of muffled. And so I was hitting him up in the chat, telling him he was.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll realize that he muted. But brothers, I wanted to change the subject to go to some more topics, but I think that we need Chambers to come back up here because I would love to finish this conversation. I think I shut up long enough to listen. So I know what I need to know. I don't know if Brother Nabat here either. So what we're gonna do, family, fellas, it's getting kind of late. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this so we can touch some of the other topics because there's other things that I wanted us to talk about, but we never got to it. So tomorrow, I don't know if y'all available, but tomorrow around 10 o'clock, we can do a part 2 and we can discuss some of the other topics. Hey, Brother Chambers, can you hear?
Yo, hello?
Yeah, you back, brother?
God dang it. What in the world happened?
Yeah,
you had got
zone,
you sounded
man.
muffled.
I don't know. You got in the zone. It's like you just going.
He started sounding muffled. I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah, it's like he was in a zone. To me, I heard him, but it's like he was in a zone. Like he had zoned out. He wasn't hearing nothing nobody was saying or nothing. I guess you got in your zone, brother. But what I was saying, man, I think we can do a part 2 to this. Because there was other topics that I wanted us to discuss, but we never got to them topics. But it's a little bit late, and I think it's best to end the show. So what I want to do is I want to give y'all the opportunity to give y'all closing remarks, and we can try to do this again tomorrow around 10 o'clock. Do a part 2 so we can finish this and talk about some of the other topics that we never got into.
Okay, cool, no problem. First of all, Seth, thank you again for the platform. Thank you, Nabat, Brother Chavis, just for the conversation. And then one thing or two, I want to let everybody understand and know. Just because you and a brother disagree, don't mean that there's a hate between you and a brother. You just have a disagreement on the ways that you see, see the world, or just your perspective or viewpoint. We're all here to grow. We're all here to grow and spread knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And I the first to admit that I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a student of knowledge. So yeah, that's my piece. Much love, everyone.
Hey, Brother Chavis, you can close out, man. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm back, man. My doggone, I was just going on. Yo,
I know.
My doggone, my earpiece went dead, so I thought it was still on, man. God dang, but look, yeah, man, it's all love. This what I do all day. I like to talk. I like to have ideas put forward. Keep the dialogue going on. As long as we have dialogue, there's always hope. Because if you stop the dialogue, that's when people don't even want to hear each other out. And you can see that type of situation play out with relationships. If you and your girl not talking back and forth, it's gonna be hell. So it's like it's all love, no hate. And you can find me at Chavis Hayes on not YouTube, what is it, Facebook. And that's it, man. I'm looking forward to do this again.
All right, that's peace. Brother Nabat, are you here? All right, well, again, I thank you, Brother Chavis. I thank, excuse me, Brother Nabat, and I thank Master You. I thank Neb. I thank the viewers that's watching online. I thank everybody for taking their time for being here, watching, commenting, no matter if you watched a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We appreciate y'all, and we're gonna do this again tomorrow around 10. We're gonna finish this conversation. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're conversing. We're having conversations. Everybody don't have to think the same, but as long as we know we want to get to the same place together. That's all that matters. So, you know, steel sharpens steel. That's what they always say. So with that being said, I just want to say peace and black power to y'all. And I'll holler at y'all. We'll holler at y'all the next show.